Good day, everyone. Welcome back to the Doc of Detox show. Today's show is called Light is the Source of Life. And with me today is my honored guest, Dr. Sara Valencia Garcia. But before we get started, I would like to talk about taking back your power. Better still, how would you like to learn how to keep it? Okay? Let me tell you about something. One of our most valuable and one of our most powerful courses is called Personalized Treatment and Training. And this is where we send a master trainer to your home and we teach you about creating the perfect day on an emotional, physical level, and we teach you the most powerful body work in the world. How would you like to do body work where you can actually see changes in your family, whether it's fibroids or scar tissue, or they say that they have to go to get surgery? How would you like to be able to opt out of that surgery? It's all about physical blocks in the body, and once you realize that it's scar tissue, and that scar tissue can become fibroids or tumors or arthritis, how would you like it if we were to teach you, like I said, the most powerful technique and how to create the perfect day on a nutritional and emotional level for you and your family? We will come to you anywhere around the world, or you can come to us for our personal treatment and trainings. Go to itioh.com, where we have all of that. And guess what? If you're a health professional or you've always wanted to be a health professional, don't let money and time get in the way. Okay, we have a 3-week intensive course that will bring you up to speed on the latest and show you that energy medicine is the future, and it will show you how to bring your business to the future. And we also will help to guide you on building your business and even the foundation of your business. Look, there's a hidden practitioner in all of us. Check it out at itioh.com on our certifications. And if nothing else, okay, go to itioh.com and sign up. I'm giving away right now, okay, my whole Braveheart course. If you want to get the most in-depth emotional online training, okay, go to itioh.com, sign in, and use the code BRAVEHEARTFREE. All right? Today I'd like to welcome my dear friend, Dr. Sara Valencia Garcia. How are you?
Fine. Thank you very much to invite me.
Well, you know what? I've been trying to get you on for a while, and you're a very, very busy person.
This is true, but I'm here today with you, so this is the most important.
Yes, and can you tell everybody where you're from and yes.
My background?
Yes, and where you're from. Where do you live?
So I am Spanish. I'm from Madrid, and I'm a scientist. So I was studying in Madrid, then I did a master in Paris, in France. Then I did my PhD in Lyon, also in France, in circadian rhythms. So I'm a neuroscientist.
Did you say circadian rhythms?
Yes.
Okay, so I'd love to really talk about that as well, okay? Because I think everybody needs to understand that if they don't understand their circadian clock, then they're never going to be on time for anything, okay?
In Switzerland, we are on time.
Okay. All right.
So after my PhD, I arrived into Switzerland to study motor behavior during sleep-wake cycle and Parkinson.
Oh, yes.
And I decided that what I really liked, it was to be in contact with people, to try to bring these research advances to society. And this is why I joined Bioptron to improve the knowledge that we have on that and to open some ways to use light therapy to heal people.
Yes. And if I can just say something to everybody, and then we'll come right back to the beautiful doctor. Listen, everyone, I've said it before and I just want to say it again. You know, the day that you understand that you are a light energy being will be the biggest breakthrough in your life. The day that you understand that less than 1% of your less than 1% of you is a physical body. I know it's what you see, it's what you feel, okay? You think it's really important, but the reality is that light energy that we are, because we come with this light energy spirit, we leave with this light energy spirit. What people don't understand is that light is emitted from every cell in the human body, okay? Every cell. The DNA emits light and it puts the light out into what we call our light field, energy field. And that energy is actually, that light energy is communication that we use to communicate with plants, animals, and people with, and we don't even know it. And then we pick up this light into our energy field from the plants and from other people and from the animals, and that comes back into our body, into our DNA. You actually have light coming out of your fingernails, okay? Your mitochondria, they are regulated by light. And guess what? Light is in all the water in your body, and it's called structured water, and it holds all the information. You know, people think that the brain holds information, and the brain is the blueprint, and the brain holds everything, but it doesn't. The brain is just a computer. Where the information is actually held, the blueprint about you, your past, and everything else is actually held in the fluid in the human body and the invisible, which is that light energy that we can't touch, but is 99.9999999.4 of us. Anyways, I'd like to come back to the beautiful doctor, and I want to say this, that there's no better thing to study than light. And today, you're going to get a dose of light. Okay, so here we go. Yes, doctor.
So, let's go.
Let's go. So, first of all, what's light? What do you believe light to be? Okay.
So, if we take in account the physical definition of light, light is defined like a having a dual nature. Light is in one way an electromagnetic wave.
Yes.
And in another way, it's a particle.
It's a what?
So, a particle.
Practical.
Particle.
Particle.
Spanish
Yes.
accent.
No, it's okay. I love your accent. You're doing great. Okay, it's wonderful. So it's a particle and it's a wave.
Yes, it's a wave,
Yeah.
an electromagnetic wave, and it's a particle. And it's understanding this dual nature of light that we can understand how the light affects all of us. As you say, the body human is very transparent and is emitting their own electromagnetic wave, and it's able to receive this electromagnetic wave. And how is that possible? Is because waves are different. Light is composed from several type of waves, and each wave is characterized by an intrinsic energy. They are creating their own electromagnetic field. So since we are emitting our own electromagnetic field, applying the correct light, applying the correct electromagnetic wave, our molecules are able to respond to that.
Okay, and what we're saying though is that all of these different electromagnetic frequencies or waves are different because they're all carrying different encoded information and even beyond information.
So these different waves
Yes.
could be smaller, okay?
Yeah.
So then they are bringing a lot of energy. This is what we say that there are high frequency.
Yes.
And then there are waves that are bigger that are bringing less energy, and we say that there are low frequency.
Yes.
And each wave with its intrinsic characteristics are creating their own electromagnetic field, and this energy that they are bringing are able to interact with the molecules in our bodies.
Great.
And how this is possible is because you have to understand that the Earth has been irradiated by the sun from the beginning. So it's not very surprising to think that every living animal is able to react to this light in different ways, like photosynthesis, circadian rhythms, and it's very important to stay alive.
Okay, can we break this down? So tell everybody how it reacts in the way of photosynthesis, and then let's talk about circadian rhythms, okay? First, photosynthesis, if you could, please.
Everything in this planet, including animal, plants, or cells, are made by atoms that are able to produce, emit, and receive energy because they are continuously vibrating. And these vibrations are producing an electromagnetic wave in a specific frequency as the light. And our tissues can be composed by sugars, lipids, proteins, and all these biomolecules are made by atoms. So in function of the composition of these tissues, you will have different electromagnetic fields that are created by these tissues. But when these tissues are damaged or inflamed or degenerated, it's because the molecules that compose this tissue are not in a good shape. Their components are not balanced. So we can think that if we apply the correct energy, the correct electromagnetic field, we are balancing again the electromagnetic field and the energy that these tissues have. We are improving their state. This is how it's possible that, for example, the light is able to heal. I don't know if it's clear.
Yes. So what we're doing is we're using coherent light to balance incoherent light. That's because the light is incoherent or otherwise out of balance within the tissue cells.
No,
it's
right? Nothing to do with coherent or not coherent. It's that the tissues, so each atom in the planet is vibrating, okay?
Yes.
And our proteins, sugars, lipids are made by atoms.
Yes.
So in function of the composition that you have, they will be vibrating in a specific way, and they will emit these electromagnetic fields in a specific way also. They will have their own.
Yes, so different ingredients create a different vibration, and the amount of the different ingredients creates that different vibration. That's excellent. Thank you.
Exactly. So when these tissues are damaged or traumatized, means that the biomolecules that are on this tissue are not working well. This is why they are damaged. So this means that their electromagnetic field, their way to vibrate, is not anymore correct. So if we are able to apply the correct energy, the correct electromagnetic field, we will balance again their equilibrium, and we will make them work properly again.
So
yes.
So what we're doing is we're restoring the imbalance of the ingredients so that we come out with the right vibration, with right frequency.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
And this is one sentence that I like a lot is from Nikola Tesla, that he already thought about these biological consequences of light. And then he said, if you could eliminate certain undesirable outside frequencies that interfere with our bodies, we will have greater resistance toward disease. So I think it's really showing what light is able to do in our bodies.
Yes, and it brings it down to something very simple.
Yes.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So again, can you talk a little bit about the circadian rhythms and where they play, and maybe a little bit more of the synthesis of the light and how that plays in our body?
Okay, so we start with the circadian rhythm, or
whatever you would like. You're the driver.
I'm the driver. Super.
Okay.
So circadian rhythm, it's one of the rhythms that regulate our lives. They are regulated by light. And these rhythms, having light or not having light, have a lot of consequences hormonally, at hormone level, neurotransmitters, synthesis of molecules, and even genes. We have genes that are expressed when the light is present, and genes that are expressed when the light is not present. So light is regulating our bodies, but is regulating also our brain, because in function, if the light is present or not, other different neuronal networks are switched on or switched off. So it's regulating our brains and our activities, but it's also regulating more global mechanisms that are regulating the whole body.
And maybe even the whole world.
Of course. Of course.
Okay.
I mean, I think that is very simple, is when we are changing the time between the summer and between the winter, you know.
Yes.
It's only 1 hour.
Yeah.
And this has a lot of consequences in our bodies. So it's really, really important. And it's not only that you are seeing the light or not, it's because it's regulating very intrinsic mechanism in our bodies.
Okay. So are you saying that it's unhealthy to actually keep changing the time back and forth?
Yes and not, because we need to our activities, okay, to stay wake up, to put our focus in memory processes, in learning. We need certain neurotransmitter in our brains, and light and circadian rhythm are regulating most of these neurotransmitters. So if we don't change the light, the time light, for example, we will receive even less light during the winter, because we will still wake up later and the light is the light is already there. So I think the consequences of the change are not very easy for bodies that have already other imbalances. But I think in a long term, since it's 6 months, it's good to know, it's good to have it to receive as much light as possible.
Yes. And I know we're not on the subject yet, but that's why that's why I brought the Bioptron into my practice, into my life on a daily basis, because most people live indoors. Even when they do have the light, they're not getting as much light as they want today. But let's go back to the talking about the circadian rhythms.
Okay. But circadian rhythms regarding what exactly? Because it's very large.
Because if we don't actually process the light and get the light at the right times throughout the day, it can mess up everything from our sleep to our digestion to, like you said, our thought processes, our moods. Okay, everything can be messed up if we don't understand that. And that's why people will actually call me. This is a little bit off detail, but I get called all the time and they say, I work night shift. How can you help me? And I go, well, there's not a lot we can do. We can make a few adjustments, but you're going against one of the most important clocks you could ever go against, and that's circadian rhythm.
Exactly. This is completely true. Light is very important for us, and it's very important the timing, the intensity, and the wavelength of light that we are receiving. As I told you, light is regulating a lot of mechanism. And before, when we didn't have electric light, people were going to sleep when it was not anymore light outside, and they were waking up when the sun was arising. The problem now is that we are receiving too much light, but in general is not natural light. We are surrounded about neon lights, LEDs that are blue emitting devices. That is not very good for our health, and this we can develop it a little bit more later. But also we are receiving this light much more time, which means that you are disrupting your sleep. And the lack of sleep have a lot of consequences in our bodies. Sleep is regulated also by hormones, by neurotransmitters, by different neuronal networks in our brain. When you are applying too much light too late, all these processes are broken. So this will provoke a lack of sleep or a bad quality of sleep. And this can have much more consequences for diabetes, health consequences, respiratory consequences, that of course will affect all our bodies. So it's not only the light intrinsically, but all the other processes that we are broken when we are not respecting our circadian rhythms.
Beautiful. And the other thing is, this is a little bit off, but not quite. And that is this, everyone. You need to understand something. When you go to bed and you want to go to sleep, especially those people that live in large cities, you have to have blackout curtains. Whether your eyes are closed or not, you need to be blocked out from especially all that. Well, we don't want real light when we're trying to sleep, when we wouldn't have it because the sun's gone down. So the reality is you don't want any artificial light coming into your bedroom. And a lot of you will find that you'll have a lot better sleep. You'll get a lot better REM sleep. You'll feel more rested. So you really need to block out that artificial light.
Yes, this is one of the questions that we receive very often in Bioptron, because now I think everyone knows or everyone have heard about these blue emitting devices, this blue light, artificial light, and the consequences that it has in our lives. And this is real. I mean, we need blue light because blue light is very important to maintain ourselves awake. It is very important for learning processes, for memory processes. The problem now in our days to all of us is that we are receiving too much blue light. And this blue light is coming in general from indoors, you know, when you are watching TV, when you are checking your iPhone, when you are in front of your computer. All these devices are emitting blue light that are arriving to our eyes, even if we don't realize. And this blue light not only will have short-term consequences, but it can have middle and longer-term consequences. For example, I'm pretty sure that some of you, at the end of the day, you are feeling like your eyes are itching, you are tired, you are not able to acquire more information. And this is called eye strain. And this eye strain is a very short-term consequences of the blue light. It's because your eyes are receiving too much blue light and they start to be tired. And this, of course, is transmitted to the brain. But also this blue light is, for example, avoiding to have the correct levels of melatonin. Melatonin is a very important neurotransmitter and hormone that normally is synthesized by our bodies before to go to sleep. It's like a sleepy hormone, let's say, and sleepy neurotransmitters. With the blue light, we are decreasing the synthesis of this sleepy hormone. So of course you will feel less sleepy. And there, even if you are going to sleep, most probably your sleep will not be a recover as it should be. You are not sleeping well, even if you don't feel it. And this lack of sleep can have much more consequences, like diabetes, anxiety, stress, lack of memory, etc. And on top of that it's accepting your whole body. When you are receiving too much blue light, when you are watching TV in the evening, when you are checking your iPhone before go to sleep, the problem is that this blue light is also affecting your eyes. So there are publications that show that this blue light could be linked to macular degeneration or cataracts. So blue light, excessive blue light, because we have a lot of life indoors now, it's affecting our whole body, but it's affecting also our skin and our eyes.
Okay, and if I can also add, everybody out there, when you're in an airport, when you're even in a plane, when you're in the mall, okay, when you're at the dentist office, the doctor's office, and guess what? When you go to that big cinema movie and you go to the 9 o'clock movie or the 7 o'clock movie, that movie's telling you it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So everything is working off of blue light, and that's exactly what the doctor's talking about. When you get too much blue light, okay, then you become oversaturated, and that messes up the circadian rhythm in the body, but it does much more than that. There's, as she was saying, even diabetes. So understand something. In China right now, there are tens of thousands of people that are getting diabetes and they're only at the age of around 20 because they're so addicted to their iPhones. And this you can even read about on Google.
Of course, there are, if everyone can Google blue light eyes, and you can find a lot of publications that make this link with this macular degeneration and cataracts, but also with this disruption of sleep that can have much more consequences. And something that we have to take in account also is like we are more time surrounded about these blue emitting devices, but we spend much more time. I mean, our generation, we were growing perhaps with the TV, 1 hour, 2 hours per day. But our children now, they are spending hours from their first year of their age in front of computers, tablets, and TV. So they are receiving even much more blue light than us. And we are still, I think, not aware about the consequences that have these devices in indoor situations. Because I think everyone is aware that when you are outside and there are sun, you have to put sunglasses. Even if you say from the beginning, we are spending less and less time outside. We are spending more and more time inside, surrounded with these devices, long time and even longer time in our lives. So it's necessary to protect ourselves from that.
And the big thing is out there, everybody, especially you parents that have young children or you're going to have children, understand something. Do not make blue light your babysitter, okay? When you make blue light your babysitter, okay, especially with the younger children, their brains are not going to develop properly and you're already causing damage to them. So, it's very important. And I think that, you may not be aware, but I think even a lot of parents are aware. I mean, you must have it where you live as well, where you go out to a restaurant and you see the children on their tablets, right? And the parents are talking or there's a party going on, but now the child's over there nice and quiet.
Yes, this is more and more common. Then I think it's life who impose these rhythms. But I think the first studies and the first pediatric doctors are trying to put a point on that, try to make people to be aware that these devices are not correct for the proper development of the eyes and for the brain development of the children. So blue light is good when it's natural and it's in a given quantities, but too much is of course not good at all.
And something, and again, I'd like to bring up the Bioptron, and then I'd like to make a statement about it before we start. But the reality is you would be so surprised at people that know they can't get away from blue light technology, and people that are around blue light technology all the time. And we'll be talking about this in a few minutes, but I just want to put this little seed in everybody's head. We have people that will call up and they've done all their research, because that's what they do. They go online and do the research on a blue light screen to find out. And we have people that will call up and order a Bioptron light and a pair of Tesla glasses because they want to negate the negative effects and then use with the Tesla glasses. And then they want to totally go in and use the Bioptron, not just because it helps to bring in beautiful light that helps to heal the body, but to go in and actually detoxify the blue light. So a healing light, and then you've got a toxic light. So when you know that your blue light toxic because of exactly what you said, dry eyes, itchy eyes, going to bed, you can't fall asleep, but you're exhausted, or your skin is itchy, or you just feel like your mind, it won't stop, but you're not even thinking about anything. It's still just a bunch of running horses. And before we go any further, I want everybody to understand something. We're going to be talking about today mainly about what's called Bioptron, which is I believe it to be the most powerful lighting system for healing on the planet. And we're going to be talking about what's called Tesla glasses in a few minutes. So I want everybody to understand that this is an informational show. We're not trying to sell you these products, but you better understand something. Energy medicine is going to outrank, biochemistry. It's going to outrank medicine. It's going to outrank functional medicine in the future, because we are going to understand that in this life of ours, where we use so many things that are dealing with light and energy, that we're going to and that we are mainly light and energy. Like I told you, our composition is 99.999999994% is energy. This physical matter is less than 1%. You're going to understand it. If you don't understand it today, You might understand it at the end of the show, and if you don't, do your homework. But energy medicine is going to outrank every other type of medicine on the planet if you want to maintain, okay, and not just maintain, but hold vital health, okay? So I'd like to take it back to you, doctor.
About the energy in our bodies.
That's correct.
Yeah, this is what we talked a little bit before. We are made by molecules.
Yeah.
These molecules are able to receive, to emit, and to change their conformation in function of the energy that are receiving. Every molecule in our body. So we can imagine that applying energy to our bodies can change processes. They change processes, and they can improve even cellular and tissular mechanism.
So we know that science today, and you don't have to take it from me, do your homework, go to PubMed, do all the scientific studying you want, and you will find out that the most important food to the human body is called LIGHT, okay? And now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what's called a Bioptron. So do you mind starting in on that? And I don't know where you want to start, but would you start explaining to people what Bioptron is and a little bit of a history? How long has Bioptron, this light, been around, and the research that's behind it and the characteristics of it? How's that?
So Bioptron is an Hyperlight therapy. We are a Swiss-made product. So Swiss products are worldwide known by their good quality. Bioptron, it has been in the market for more than 30 years. We have sold more than 3 million units. And the amazing thing is that in these 30 years more than 30 years in the market and more than 3 million units sold, we have any side effect.
No side effects. No side effects.
No side effects.
Except positive.
And it's possible. Why this is possible? And the reason is because, as I told you, we are made by molecules that are able to interact with the energy and with the waves.
Yes.
And Bioptron, what it's doing is using the own mechanisms that we have in our bodies, boosting them and improving them. So we are using our own healing mechanism. Since we are using our own bodies to heal ourselves, we cannot have side effects. This is why.
The one thing that I think it'll be hard for people to swallow here a little bit is that something that was developed 30 years ago is still leading in light therapy on the planet today. So you know how, I mean, like there are probably thousands of energy medicine devices out there. So meanwhile, this was discovered 30 years ago, and today it's still leading the way in full spectrum light therapy.
We are the leaders because we are combining unique characteristics. So Bioptron is the #1 leader in the worldwide market because we are one of the only ones, if not the only one, that have polarized light, which means that all the waves are going in the same direction, which means that we will penetrate much more in the skin. And since we are penetrating even more in the skin, the mechanism and the tissues that it's touching is much wider. Bioptron is polychromatic, which means that it has all the waves from the visible spectrum, which means all the lights that our eyes are able to see, but also the infrared. But we don't have UV. So we are avoiding the side effects of UV, but we are enjoying from the beneficial effects of all other wavelengths. But for example, other products have only one color, or they have only one very little range of wavelengths. We have much more bigger, so we are having much more beneficial effects. And Bioptron is incoherent light, which means that we are not damaging the tissues, and it's low energy, which means that we are applying the correct energy to the bodies. Okay, it's 2.4 joules per centimeter square per minute, which means that this is the energy that will have healing effects without cause any damage. So Bioptron is combining all these characteristics that has been make it the number one in the market for these 30 years. And now we are coming with one feature more, that is what we call hyperpolarized or hyperlight, that it's improving the molecular structure of our biomolecules.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, so what everybody's going to want to understand is, and I know you already said it, but how does the Bioptron heal? How does it heal like inflammation? Let's talk about wound healing. Let's talk about even people that feel exhausted when they come home, people that feel worn out, burned out, because I'll tell you right now, all I have to do is do Bioptron for 10 minutes and I'm back. All right. So, that's all I have to do. And the thing is I don't think people understand too, that you can't overdose, okay, or cause any side effects with this light, where many other types of things like lasers and other lights is, you have to have smaller dosages and you have to have it so far away, or, there's just a lot of other rules behind other therapies. And this is like the most powerful healing light, but at the same point, it is childproof and anybody can afford it and anybody can use it.
Exactly. Bioptron is, thanks to all these characteristics that I told you, it will be able to penetrate much more in our skins, thanks that is polarized. And it will bring the energy of all these types of waves, like the visible spectrum and the infrared. So this light it's low energy, so it's safe. We are bringing the correct energy and we are incoherent, so we are not making any damage. This energy will be absorbed by the tissues that we are irradiating. For example, if we have a wound healing, we will irradiate this region. So all the tissues there, the skin, the connective tissue, even the little vessels, capillaries that are passing by will take this energy. And this will provoke different mechanisms. It will stimulate the microcirculation. So the blood that is arriving to this region will be increased, the blood flow. If they have pain, this person that have this wound, for example, it will decrease the muscle spasm and it will decrease the molecules that makes our bodies feel the pain. What it will do also, it's increase the cellular regeneration. So we will have more cells. We are also improving the migration of cells. So the wound, for example, will be healed faster. We are increasing and making stronger the immune system, because as I told you, there are some capillaries that are going through this region, and there are the white cells that are going there, the natural killers, other cells from the immune system. We will improve their cellular function, so we are reinforcing also the immune system that will allow us to fight against potential problems that we can have. So all these mechanisms that I explained you, reinforcing the immune system, decreasing the inflammation, decreasing the pain, are cellular mechanisms that are behind a lot of affections, like it will be a burn, it could be a cold, it could be low back pain. Since we are improving this pivotal mechanism, we can help people to improve their problems in a lot of medical certifications, like could be the wound healing, in physiotherapy, in pain relief, and we can even, in dermatology, anti-aging, and we can even be used in pediatrics and newborns. And we are the only product in the market being able to be medically certified for newborns and pediatrics, because, again, we are not adding anything that can affect this type of population. We are only using their own healing mechanism.
So, yeah, so I need everyone to understand the difference between this and everything else out there, that this is a polarized light. Okay. And I would like you to go a little bit deeper into the why it's different than the rest of the light, just a little bit more to make it really understood to people. And that, guess what? I want to just say this. Remember what I said? Every cell in your body can uptake light. And I said that light is the most important food of the human body. And you're going to find that out. If you don't find it out today or next week or next year, you'll finally get it, because energy medicine is going to have to come to the forefront if we're going to actually get our families out of pain and life-threatening situations. And that's the bottom line. Remember that every blood cell is a ferry boat, and that ferry boat needs to be filled with light. And now we know how to do it, and we know how to do it the most effective way. So if you could just explain that, I want them to just get this before we move on, that the difference between the Bioptron and being a polarized...
Another product.
Yes.
Okay. So what is making Bioptron so special is that we are polarized.
Yes.
And we are more polarized than other products in the market. Okay, we have more than 95% of polarization.
What is polarization?
So polarization means that all the waves are going in the same direction. It's like a mirror.
Yes.
When you are watching a light and then someone put a mirror, you are kind of blinded.
Yes.
This is because all the light is coming in the same direction. This is what is doing Bioptron. It's improving the penetration and the effects that the light from the sun that is diffused is going in every direction, not having so much consequences in our bodies. Bioptron is making to make all this light going in the same direction, penetrating better, and of course having much more beneficial consequences in our bodies.
So more penetration and
exactly.
No negative side effects. Okay.
Not negative side effects, because the energy that Bioptron is applying is in this range of safe energy. We are giving to the tissues the energy that they need to be healed without damaging them, like lasers or other products that other light therapies that can be coherent and that can damage the skin because they are bringing too much energy. In our case, it's a stable light and it's in this range of safe light with healing effects.
Beautiful. And talking about safe and healing, can you tell us a little bit more about pediatrics and the use of this with children? Okay.
Okay. Bioptron Hyperlight therapy is medically certified for pediatrics and children and newborns. And this is because the safe light that Bioptron is applying is an steady, constant, and safe energy. So newborns and children are able to take this energy. Their cells are able to take this energy that is low energy and safe, and we will boost their own cellular mechanism. We are not adding anything. We are not using pharmaceutical treatments or something that can interfere with their development. We are just using the cellular mechanism that they have already, just boosting them to improve their state.
And I will say this because I've been with Bioptron now for years, and I can tell you that the families that are actually have children that have skin conditions or any other negative symptoms in their bodies, babies and children, they fare so well and so quickly, and you can see things change so fast.
Yes, people are using it very currently in newborns for dermatitis, eczema, or when they have these little wounds because the nappy is making them little wounds, for colds. And of course, when they are bigger, that they are falling down all the time, they have wounds on the knees all the time, they burn themselves because they touch something that they should not, that it was too hot. We have a lot of cases in which the parents were not very convinced that they can use Bioptron in their children because they have to use it 5 minutes. They cannot move to irradiate well the region, but it's so pleasant that we were able to cure children with that have burns, and these children have autism or Down syndrome that are more complicated to manage. It was so pleasant that they were receiving the therapy without any problem.
Yeah.
So it used from the beginning that they have dermatitis or some problems with the nappy until they are bigger, they are destroying their knees or burning themselves.
Yeah, and if I can say this, we have a lot of families that actually have autistic children because that's getting worse. But the reality is that the light, they tell us, that actually calms them down, makes them feel pleasant, puts them to at ease. And the other thing I wanted to state is this: we have a lot of people that have diabetes and diabetic ulcers, and can you explain a little bit, because we see so much turnaround with diabetic ulcers or even bed sores or things of that nature, even in adults.
Oh, yes. We have a lot of cases and a lot of people that came to us asking about diabetic foot, because these patients have even more problems to heal their wounds. Mm-hmm. So in this case, Bioptron is very useful for these wounds, because the energy that Bioptron is applying, it's making to regenerate the fibroblasts, that is the main cells of the skin, faster. So we are having cells that most. Bioptron is improving the migration of these fibroblasts, because it makes any sense if you have an open wound, for example, you have to put the cells in the correct order. Like a building, you need to put the bricks, but you need to put the bricks in the correct order to make a building grow up, and not to have the bricks spread everywhere. Bioptron is very useful in wound healing, because it's improving the production of collagen. And collagen will maintain these new fibroblasts together to maintain the good scarring. And on top of that, Bioptron is not only healing faster, but we are improving the microcirculation. So we are giving to these new fibroblasts all the oxygen and nutrients, thanks to the blood flow, that these new cells needs. And also Bioptron has a superficial antibacterial effect. So you can think that someone that have a diabetic foot, the risk of infection is very high. With Bioptron, we are decreasing the risk of infection. So we have fantastic results with people that have very complicated wounds, like people with diabetes, with this diabetic foot, but also elderly people that have this decubitus and ulcers that are open for months, even for years. We have a lot of cases of people that they were desesperated with a lot of pain, and thanks to Bioptron, they closed these complicated ulcers and decubitus. And just to even tell you more, we have cases here in Switzerland that these retreat houses for elderly people are using Bioptron, and in 3 months they save 50% of the budget used in dress these ulcers and decubitus and diabetic foot. Since the wounds were closed and much faster, they save in 3 months 50% of the budget of dressings. So Bioptron is the effects of Bioptron in wound healing. Even in these complicated cases, it's just amazing.
You know, and I think it is amazing. And every day we see amazing things and have amazing stories coming in, because we've been dealing with Bioptron now for about 8 years. And and during that time, I will tell you that I have used other energy medicine, light healing products, lasers, and everything else. And this is just a personal thing. This is just me on a personal level saying that I would have replaced it already if it wasn't for the effects that it's doing. You know, we have a therapy, and I don't know if you noticed this or not, but eye disorders, okay, and eye diseases are becoming so much more prevalent now due to living indoors and the blue light. Remember something, back even 50 years ago, we did not see the cataracts, the glaucoma, the detached retinas. We did not see all of these disorders. Okay. And here's the situation. So we put together a protocol where we use a product called nano eye drops and silver, and we do a couple of techniques that we position people to really start stimulating. And we have this thing called padding and clapping that helps to actually restore the eyes. And when we started using the Bioptron and getting people to use the Bioptron with this therapy, I want to tell you that we've revolutionized reversing eye problems. And I just want to tell people out there that do not believe your ophthalmologist. Not that he's a liar, but don't believe him because he doesn't know about energy medicine and he doesn't understand that your eyes, no matter what the condition is, it can be stopped and even reversed. And I just needed to say that. And I don't know if you have anything you would like to say, doctor, about when it comes to the eyes.
So what is now it's true that we are hearing much more about these cataracts and macular degeneration and all these eye problems. And the light has a key role on that because as I said, we are much more time indoor. We are receiving too much blue light that is very energetic light. And this too much energy is arriving to our eyes. And it's causing the degeneration of photopigments, for example. And of course, this is causing a lot. This is having a lot of consequences. We can discuss about that.
Yeah.
But then it's too late. Now that we know what is blue light doing, this excessive indoor light, is the time to put to fight against that and to find a solution.
Absolutely.
And to protect our eyes as soon as possible.
Beautiful. Now, I also want to talk about something here, and I think pet owners are going to love this. Every time that that what we do is we have this little thing that we do in the clinic. When somebody brings in like a pet, whether it be a cat or a dog, we'll actually turn on the Bioptron in the room, believe it or not, the cat or the dog, if somebody comes in with it, because we don't have rules here where they can't bring in their pets, because we have people that travel a long distance to come here. We have people that come from all over the world and they'll bring their pets with them because people love their pets. Anyway, so we'll turn on the Bioptron and the pet will actually leave the owner and go over and lay underneath the Bioptron light. So I don't know if you know about this, but it's I didn't know. I showed a video. I did a video where actually we showed that, where we turned the Bioptron light on, and this little wiener dog just left its owner and just went boom, 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 boom over to the corner and sat under the light the whole time while we were doing a consultation on this person who actually had diabetes. But anyways, if you'd like to, could you talk about Bioptron in veterinary work? Okay.
Yes. Bioptron can be used in animals because the cellular mechanism that we have in our bodies is the same that these horses, dogs, cats had in their own bodies. So if you are regenerating the skin, you will regenerate the skin of your dog or of your cat if they have a wound. What it has been reported for us is like when they are treating cats, horses, pigs, dogs with Bioptron, they don't only see a benefit when they are treating them for normally eczema, wound, pain, inflammation, but they see, because everyone knows his own pets, that there are like a whole state of well-being in those animals. They have behaviors that are related to the well-being and to be quiet and to be in a good situation and comfortable. So it's quite surprising. And even with all dogs, we have a colleague that had a dog. He was very sick. He was always lying in the sofa. They was not making any noise, not moving anything. They started to treat him with Bioptron, and it starts to wake up earlier, going out of the sofa, even trying to play with their owner, and it's something that didn't happen for months. So I really believe, and we have proofs that Bioptron is not only helping with physiological problems that your animals can have, but also with the whole well-being of your pet.
Thank you. And I just thought about something, and I just want to, I'm going to take just a slight detour. My brother, Dr. Marcel Wolfe, he took a carrot, and they actually used photography, okay, very expensive photography, and they took a picture of the energy that was actually coming off this carrot. And there was lots of light coming off the carrot. And what they did was, then they took the carrot and they put the carrot and they microwaved it. Then they took a picture of the carrot, okay, with Circadian photography, a very expensive device. And what they found is there was just a tiny little spark of light energy coming off the carrot. It didn't have the glow anymore, as you can see on the picture that we're showing you, okay? And so anyways, then what they did is they went and they put the carrot underneath the Bioptron light. Okay, and they only put it underneath there for a couple of minutes. And then they retook the picture with Circadian photography. And are you ready for this? So think about this. We all know what microwave does. Microwave destroys the vital force of all foods. So anyways, this is an actuality, and this can be reproven and retested because they did it over and over and over again to make sure they were right. Because they couldn't believe the findings. That after they put it in the microwave and then they put it underneath the Bioptron, what they found is that it had more light than it had in the beginning before they put it into the microwave. So understand something, okay? You can bring light, this Bioptron light will bring back life to the cells. So take a look at the picture and you'll see it, and then you'll see how amazing this is, and that every living microorganism on the planet lives off of light.
Of course.
Yes. So talking about that, let's go back, if we could. I'd like to maybe you could explain to us about Bioptron in SAD, okay?
Okay. So SAD means seasonal affective disorder. It's a disorder that is normally caused because the lack of light. This is why it's normally happening during the autumn or during the winter. And this is because we have a lack of the light that we need to live, because we need to receive light. And why this is happening is because when we are not receiving enough light, like it happens in autumn or in winter, we have a lack of serotonin. That is one of the neurotransmitters very important to maintain us awake and to learn and for other processes. It could be that there are a disruption of the melatonin, that is the sleeping hormone. And there are disruption of this circadian rhythm. So as we talked before, when you have this balance in your body or in your brain, of course your body reacts. And your body reacts normally with chronic fatigue, lower motivation, you feel that you are sleepy every day, you don't take pleasure to make so many things, you will sleep every day, you will be in your sofa and not doing anything. And this is because you are not receiving enough light that will allow you to have your rhythm, to have all the functions that your body is doing normally. So with Bioptron, and this all the Scandinavian countries knows, they will apply Bioptron normally in the morning, because like this you will receive the light. You know, in a normal rhythm, your body will wake up when the light is coming, and they will go to sleep when there are no more light. This is what we did for thousands of years. But in this autumn and winter seasons, we are not receiving this light that maintain our rhythm. So using Bioptron in the morning, that will mimic the light that we are receiving with the sun arises, will regulate the melatonin, will regulate the serotonin, and will balance again this sleep-wake cycle, this circadian rhythm, and we will have all our functions covered, so we will not have any more these symptoms of seasonal affective disorder.
Excellent. And you know, there's something else too with the blue light, everyone. Do you know CBD is so popular? Well, because we have our own endocannabinoid system, and the more blue light you make, okay, the more you damage the endocannabinoid system and the more pain you're in. And that blue light has made the CBD business blow through the roof. And you need to understand that as soon as you start balancing the light that comes through your eyes and getting the right light through your eyes, you will awaken all of these different systems that create balance within your body. I think it's just too amazing. And but I think this now brings us to the point where I would like, if you don't mind, to talk about Fullerene and what it is,
Yes,
and Hyperlight. If you could do that so that people could get a really good understanding, okay?
of course. So this is the new era of Bioptron. So to understand what is Hyperlight, you need to understand what's Fullerene. Fullerene is a molecule of 60 carbons that is arranged in a geometric shape that is very stable. And this molecule, it's not whatever molecule. You have just to know that people that discovered it earned the Nobel Prize more than 20 years ago. And what makes this molecule so special is it's very stable and is continuing vibrating. Okay, it's spinning all the time, around 18,000 million of times. So when this molecule is twisting, okay, and the light that is coming from Bioptron device is hitting this alive molecule, these twisting molecules, will make them turn. Okay, just I remember you that from Bioptron the light is polarized, so it's coming in the same direction.
So if I can say something, so the Fullerene is the Fullerene lens, and then the Hyperlight is from the Bioptron, and the Bioptron is putting the Hyperlight through the Fullerene lens, correct? And that's where the carbon molecules are, and the light causes them to start dancing.
Yes and not.
Okay.
So what is happening? I can make an example. I think
Okay.
it will be even better.
Please.
Just I'm thinking what I have to take. I prepared it already, and I am. So what is happening? So what is happening is the light. This is the metal, so it's one of the Bioptron.
Yeah.
Light is coming polarized through
Yeah.
the device. It's coming in the same direction, but then they will hit Fullerene that it's in the lens of the filter.
Thank you.
So this molecule is vibrating, okay, and it's very stable. So when the polarized light from the Bioptron device will hit the Fullerene in the filter, since this molecule is vibrating, this will give to the polarized light like a toroid shape. It will turn. It will not anymore polarize, but it will be polarized in a circular way, following a toroid. And this is what we call hyperpolarized, because it's not anymore polarized, but it's hyperpolarized, and what is called hyperlight. This is what is Fullerene, the molecule, and this is what is in the filter, the Fullerene filter of Bioptron. And the hyperlight is the hyperpolarized light caused because the polarized light is hitting the Fullerene.
Very good.
I don't know if it was clear.
Yes, it was. It was very clear.
Okay.
All right. So, and then the Fullerene, what does that do different than just having the polarized light? What makes the difference?
So the difference is this hyperpolarized light is bringing the energy that the Fullerene has. Okay.
Which is?
So it's a quantum. So Fullerene, it's a very stable molecule.
Yeah.
So when the light is hitting the Fullerene, is taking its quantum properties. So this hyperpolarized light is bringing this quantum energy. And this quantum energy is irradiating our skin when we are applying to the skin, for example. So by resonance principles, these biomolecules in our bodies will take this energy that is bring by the hyperpolarized light, and it will take the stability of the Fullerene. Because by resonance principles, this is one physical concept. When two molecules are very similar, in this case, for example, Fullerene and clathrin, that it's a protein in our body, is very important in the communication between cells. The energy of the energy of the most stable molecule, in this case, the Fullerene, will be imposed. Its pattern, if its energetic pattern, will be imposed to the other one that is less stable. In this case, for example, the clathrin of our bodies. And since they are giving this energy, they are improving the molecular structure that the polarized were not doing. Polarized were applying energy. With Hyperlight, we are not only applying energy, but we are applying a very stable with quantum properties energy that will improve the structure of the biomolecules of our bodies.
How deep will it go into the body?
So, in theory, so if we follow the physical theory, it's infinite. But one thing that you have to take in account is these tissues are taking the energy that you are bringing them. So the penetration is bigger than the polarized light, but then it will depend of your tissues and where you are applying in function of how much energy these tissues are absorbing. So the penetration, by the moment it's the specific definition is still being established, but the penetration is bigger than with the polarized light because the quantum properties of the light.
Okay, so let's put it this way. The more deficient I am in light in my cells, the more uptake of the light will be going into the cells. And if the cells are not deficient, so if I was using this on, let's say, a daily basis in the morning and at night, the light will be able to be dispersed deeper and farther because it's not being consumed as much by the first more superficial cells or the, so is that incorrect or correct?
Yes and not.
Okay.
I think I can try to explain it again.
Okay.
When the polarized light is hitting the Fullerene molecules that are in the filter of Bioptron, they will take, let's say, the quantum properties that has this Fullerene molecule.
Yes.
So this energy will be absorbed by biomolecules in our bodies, okay? And there are a physical property that says that when two molecules are very similar, in this case, the Fullerene molecule, and there are a lot of other molecules in our bodies that has the same shape, this geometrical shape that the Fullerene,
yes,
always the most stable will impose their pattern, their molecular pattern, to the less stable.
Got it.
Always. And this is because they are transmitting energy between them. So when the light is going through the Fullerene, it's acquiring this toroid shape, it's bringing the energy to all the molecules in our bodies, but those that have the same shape, the same molecular structure that the Fullerene, will modify their structure to be exactly the same that the Fullerene, that is super stable. So you can imagine that if you have molecules that are very stable, they will function better. So all the processes that depend of those molecules will be improved. It's, for example, the case of the clathrine. Clathrine is a protein that when it's assembled, it's very similar to Fullerene. And it's very important in the communication within the cell. The cell have different organelles. Clathrine is very important in the communication within the cell, but it's also very important in the communication between neurons in the brain. So you can imagine that if your clathrine is not very well assembled, you will have a not very functional cellular rhythm, because the cell in between them is not communicating very well, so then we can have problems. Or in the brain, the neurons are not communicating as properly as they should. If you have a clathrine that receives this energy and will be much more stable, and it will have its optimal structure, all the mechanisms that depends on them, for example, the communication between organs in the cell, will be improved. So the cell will work much better. It will have an optimal functioning, and the same in our brains, in the communication between neurons. So with Fullerene, we are also improving the molecular structure of a lot of our biomolecules.
Wow. Thank you. I understand completely. And I hope that everybody out there, if you don't understand, just replay this part, because I think once you understand the power of light and the power of Bioptron, then you'll understand that energy medicine is the future, but the future's here already. Okay, so what I would like to do, if you don't mind, before we go on, I'd like to talk about the Tesla Lightwear. But before I do, I want you to I think it's really important that people understand one thing, and that is I want them to understand why Bioptron has led the way for 30 years because of its specific properties and the way that it shines the light. I know you did it earlier, but this deserves repeating.
Okay, so but I repeat it in the same way, or do you think that I changed something?
Well, that's entirely up to you. I just want to make sure that people understand the simplicity to it and that it's an actual fact. Okay, that's all.
Okay, so Bioptron has been the number one, the leader of the light therapy in worldwide because its unique characteristics. It's the only one in the market that combine big penetration on the skin, a lot of types of light that will have a wide range of beneficial effects, that it's safe energy without any side effect, and because not only these characteristics can be used in the hospitals or cabinets, you can use it at home without any side effects. We don't have UV, so we don't have all the side effects of UV. It could be used for a big spectrum of care. You can apply for wound healing, for dermatological problems, for physiotherapy, for pain relief, for children, because we are using the own mechanism of the body, and because it can be used for everyone in the family, including pets, and because at the end it's a very economic therapy. If you think about all the studies that Bioptron has been done for these 30 years to show its beneficial effects, it's nothing if you compare with all the things that you can use Bioptron. And we are, again, the number one in the market because all the intrinsic characteristics of Bioptron, because it's the only one that can be used for all this big spectrum of care, and because in 30 years we didn't report any side effect, neither negative effect.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And can everybody see what I have on? Guess what? These are Tesla Lightwear, and I don't wear them on my show only because I need people to see my eyes. I don't want them to think I'm, trying to hide.
Yes.
But the reality is that I wear these around my neck all day long. So when I go on my phone, when I go on the computer, when I travel through the airports, I go to the mall, I go to a movie, I wear them, okay? And I'll tell you something, when you get a pair of these glasses, these are specialized. These are not blue blockers. Understand that. Blue blockers only block light. These do not block light, and blue blockers don't block all of the light. So understand, it's the difference between a skateboard and a Porsche, okay? So I want everybody to get that right off the bat. And the reality is, believe it or not, with all the stuff I was doing, computer work and the shows I do and things of that nature, until these came along, blue blockers are not what you want to wear. You'll find that if you're getting stress in your body, tension, dry eyes, irritation, even irritation throughout your body, it's blue light poisoning. I can tell you right now that as soon as you put these Tesla Lightwear on, what you're going to find is you're going to find a calm, peace, harmony, tranquility come over you because they don't block light. What they do is they create a negative light, bringing it into a positive healing light. But I'm going to let the doctor explain that because she's going to do so much better than I just did. Okay.
How the Tesla Hyperlight eyewear works? It has three main features of the Tesla glasses. So first is that we are blocking the excessive blue and UV light. As I told you before, we need blue light to live, but excessive blue light is damaging our eyes. So the Tesla glasses are blocking the blue light, but not all of them. We are blocking the enough quantity of blue light to don't damage our eyes. The second benefit of the Tesla glasses is that since we are blocking this blue light, the light that is arriving to our eyes is more benefit to our sight. We are decreasing the blue, but since we are receiving much better all the other colors, we shift this type of light that our eyes are receiving. And since we are receiving more green and red, this is why when you put your Tesla glasses, you are seeing more yellowish. This type of light is much more comfortable for our sight, and we see better. The acuity, it will be much better. And the third fantastic benefit from the Tesla glasses, and this is also one, we are the only product in the market doing that. The Tesla glasses contain also Fullerene. And as I told you before, Fullerene is this stable molecule, okay, that is vibrating so much. I think 18,000 millions of times per second. So when the diffuse light that you are receiving outside or inside or indoors from your computers or from your iPhones, this diffuse light is hitting the Fullerene that will give them this toroid shape, so it's hyperlight, and this light is arriving to your eyes. In the eyes, you are transforming this light energy into electrical signals in our brain. Since the energy that you are providing to your eyes, it's different, it will create different electrical signals in your brain, and this is having fantastic results. We are currently running scientific studies with the Tesla glasses because we are one of the only companies running our own studies with Bioptron and now with the Tesla glasses. And we have proved, scientifically proved, that with the Tesla glasses, you are not only seeing better and blocking the blue light, but you are able to perform better. So when you are making your daily activities, you are doing less errors and you are able to perform for longer. So you are able to be concentrated and focused for longer time and your performance is better. And this is why, again, there are some changes in the connections of your brain when you are wearing the Tesla glasses that improve these neuronal processes. So we have these three main features of the Tesla Hyperlight eyewear.
Beautiful. So I can tell you right now that I know that we probably sell more of these Tesla glasses than most people in North America, and we've had people buying the glasses who have had eye problems. And what they found was by doing the glasses and by doing our regeneration eye therapy, they were able to see changes in their eyes from different types of conditions that were disabling to their eyesight, and also changing their eyewear to less and less strength or what was going on. So you got to understand something. Up until this point, you know, what we've done is eyes have been looked at, well, when they get damaged, they're going to continue. And when you buy a pair of glasses, remember, in the glasses is information that's imprinted in there to help you see better. But it doesn't help the health of your eyes, okay? It takes the strain off so that you can read, so that you can drive the car. But what we're talking about is we're talking about eyewear now that helps to regenerate, okay, the eyes, and it helps to regenerate the nervous system, the brain, and it helps to facilitate even when it comes to hormones like melatonin or your endocannabinoid system. So there are so many effects that when you eliminate the toxic light and you bring in the healing light. Doctor?
So when you are putting the Tesla Hyperlight eyewear, the Tesla glasses, you are blocking the blue light that is damaging your eyes. So you are stopping the degeneration that this light is causing to your eyes. But it's also regulating the hormones because you are giving to the eyes the correct wavelengths. Since they are receiving only the blue light that they should receive, you are not blocking anymore the synthesis of melatonin that is really important to enter in sleep. And we have studies that prove that the serotonin is also regulated. So when you are wearing the Tesla glasses, you are not only stopping the damage that the blue light is doing physically to your eyes, but you are also regulating the synthesis of these, at least these two hormones that are very important in the regulation of the sleep. And you have to remember that the lack of sleep or disturbance in your circadian rhythm have other secondary effects that could be diabetes, heart and respiratory problems, lack of memory, stress, and anxiety. So when you are wearing the Tesla glasses, you are protecting physically your eyes, but you are protecting also your health from now and in long term also.
And I can tell you this much, that when we have, and it's mainly women, because when it comes to men, they have hormonal problems too. They just don't stand out as much because women bring life into the world. So there's a lot more bells and whistles that go off when they're out of balance, because there's a very important thing that's getting out of balance, and that's bringing life onto the planet. But the reality is when we have women that come in with hormonal problems, the ones that actually buy the Tesla glasses, and I'm not going to say it works on all the hormones in the body, but it relieves the stress on the hormonal systems in the body, and we find that they're able to balance their hormones so much faster, so much more efficiently. Have you noticed that, doctor?
So the hormonal system is very linked to our daily lives. This all of us we know. So of course, when you are wearing the Tesla glasses, you are regulating anxiety. A lot of people report to us that they feel less anxious and they are sleeping better. So since you are regulating some of your hormones and you are having less anxiety, of course, these have effects in the whole hormonal system. Again, it doesn't mean that with the Tesla glasses you can regulate all the hormones, because we don't have any proof about that. But of course, hormones that are related to the sleep-wake cycle and hormones that are related with anxiety or stress can be balanced. And of course, you will feel that the somatization of the symptoms are improved.
And that's the one thing that's all I was saying is that we're getting reports, and we're just speaking about women, men as well, but with women that the mood swings are not as great. The mood swings are not as great, and right away, as soon as they start wearing them. So that's all I want to say. And I guess a person would have to just put them on and see proof pudding for themselves.
From 2 minutes. I mean, one thing that we sometimes tell to our patients and customers is like, just put them one day. Just try the glasses for one day. You will feel that at the end of the day, you will feel less tired. Your eyes will be itching less. They will not be inflamed. This only in one day of use. This I'm pretty sure. If you use it around 1 week, if you have sleep problems, you will feel an improvement, that you are sleeping more or sleeping better. You feel more recovered in the morning. Then you will see the more beneficial effects, preventing macula degeneration or cataracts in long term. But from 1 day or 1 week of use, you can start to see that something is really happening.
Yes. And this is why we allow people to buy them and try them. And if you don't like them, you can send them back. But I'm going to tell you, you're going to be pleasantly surprised. So,
of course,
yeah,
we have people that became almost addicted. We have people that lose their glasses, so they forget it somewhere. They are like calling to the offices, like, please, I need to buy another ones, because even, since their eyes will be receiving this beneficial light, whenever they don't put them, their eyes will feel it immediately. So it's really important to protect the eyes, since we spend around 80-90% of our time indoors, surrounded of all these blue emitting devices.
Yeah, and the thing is that, understand, they're not addicted to the glasses, they're addicted to the feeling. And
of course, yes.
It's
true that I like that.
everything we do in life is about the feeling of happiness and joy,
of course,
and love. And I'll tell you something, it's not hard to fall in love with these glasses, because you are meant to live this life as a joyous experience, as a happy experience, and understand something. You are being attacked all day long by blue light, and it's okay. You don't have to believe it, but you will believe it when you see all the negative symptoms within the next, I would say 5 years from now. This will be blown out of the water, and you will see that people will be purchasing these for their whole family without even thinking about it. But the reality is, and please don't get me wrong, anyone, if you think you're going to wait for the medical system or for ophthalmology to catch up with what's going on out there and with the technology that can save you, then you've got another thing coming, because they're not going to catch up. And I'm not going to get into the whole politics of why they won't catch up. But the reality is that once you take personal action for your own life and start making really healthy choices, you're going to see a big difference. Doctor, is there anything that you would like to add or tell everybody before we come to the end of this beautiful interview?
So first, I would like to thank you very much to invite me to this show. And I will, of course, encourage people to use Bioptron. You will be surprised how light has this special light of Bioptron will help you in a lot of affections that you and your family can have. And of course, I will encourage people to protect themselves, because we all protect from outdoor when we are in front of the sun, but we only spend less and less time outdoor. We are spending more and more time indoor. So please start to protect you and your family from this damaging blue light, and enjoy Hyperlight therapy.
Absolutely. I want to thank you, Dr. Garcia, for everything that you've brought us today, because you've really made everything clear. You've made me help to understand what I've been doing for 8 years even much better. And I would love to have you back on the show again in the future, if you don't mind.
Of course, I will be glad, and I will bring you more information if I have.
Oh, I'm sure you will. Thank you very much for joining us, and have a beautiful day. And thank everybody at Zepter for me. Okay.
Thank you very much. I will pass the message.
All right. Goodbye now.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye. So, everyone, I need you to understand something. As I stated at the very beginning of this show, the very moment that you recognize that you are a light energy spirit, and that light is the most important food that you will ever uptake in your life. So you need to eat light, drink light, think light. You need to become the light. And you need to, you need to look for people that have lightened up, okay? You need to make sure that you surround yourself in life with everything that is light. Okay, we were created by the greatest light in the world, in the universe, and I think we know what that is. And so understand something. So make sure that you don't have to look for the light, become the light, and be the light. We hope you enjoyed the show today. Don't forget to click and subscribe on Facebook and on YouTube, so you never miss any of our life-changing shows, okay? And also, please, go to Doc of Detox Library, okay, and take a look at the Light and Color Guide or the Energy Medicine Guide, and you'll see this show, and you'll see a lot of other energy medicine shows in there to support what we've talked today from very smart scientists, okay, and researchers, okay, from Dr. Jerry Pollack, okay, to Alan Reed, okay, to a gentleman who wrote the best-selling book on color and light. All right, so we are going to bring it all so that you understand what you truly are, okay? And for those of you who really want to lighten up on an emotional level, go to itioh.com, International Training Institute of Health, sign in to the Braveheart online emotional training, okay, and use the password Braveheart free, and I give you my free training, because guess what? When you become the master of your emotions, then you will let the light in even faster. Okay? Because we need to travel at the speed of light, because that's what we are. Thank you again for joining me on the Doc of Detox show. God bless, and remember, 3, 2, 1, you got this. Become the light that you seek. If you're looking for life-saving and life-changing information, well, you've come to the right place. Don't forget to click and subscribe. Stay connected.